What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio here in the building, and we're covering College Hill Celebrity Edition. So we had to bring in a celebrity. All right, we had to bring in probably the biggest star from the College Hill franchise for real. We have Mr. Ray Cunningham in the building. How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me at HBCU Pulse. Represent for Virginia State University.
Got a rep. We love Virginia State, always big support. And I want to say this because we were talking about it before we started, and I've said this on social media before, but now I want to put a stamp on it, all right? College Hill, Virginia State is my favorite edition of College Hill. It is the best edition of College Hill. I did not see Southern and Langston. That's before my time, and it's lost media. Can't find it.
You said lost media.
It's lost to the world. Okay.
Season 1 and Season 2, here's some exclusive tea for you. Season 1 and Season 2 are locked up in the vaults of Southern University in Langston. Those seasons were named after their shows, and I believe their administration had a say-so in the rights of the footage. And those seasons are also pre-Viacom. So that's original BET over there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Season 3, we had the same format of the show being named after a school, but we had that Viacom paperwork in place. So, that's why we are able to still be reshown on certain platforms with Virgin Islands and Atlanta and South Beach versus you never get to see the first two, unfortunately, but they're still with us. They're all here and alive. Everybody's still well, but yeah, it's not BET's fault, y'all. Y'all stop yelling at Tracy Edmonds about that. It's the school.
Yeah, and I want to get in there too, but I just want to say that just in case they took down the issue, I got the DVD just in case. All right, we could burn that thing and then give it out like it's early 2005. You feel me? Bootleg. But I want to say that the reason why y'all like Virgin Islands is because of the fight, and we got to keep it a buck. Like College Hill, Virginia State was actually showing the HBCU experience. And when y'all say, "Oh, why don't they show HBCU students for real?" The reason why y'all saying that is because Virginia State did it. I'm gonna stand on that. How you feel about that, Mr. Ray?
I mean, of course, I'm going to say that my season 3 with Rodney and Orlando and Will and Deidre and Anya and Bianca and Audrina, that we were the most well-rounded cast. I'm going to say that because as a whole, College Hill, all the seasons included, even the spinoffs, we are a big family. We're like a whole big group chat of cousins. But I feel like each season is known for something different. Like in Atlanta, those kids were pretty much in the entertainment scene. Like they was modeling and doing videos and acting and rapping. The Virgin Islands, I mean, that was just a once-in-a-lifetime experience to leave LA and go to the islands to do a semester in school. But again, that fight was the highlight of that season. With us, you had every aspect of student life, including me being, at that time, they called it an alternative lifestyle, but I was the first gay on BET. So, and we had Will, who was Caucasian. We had Bianca, who was Puerto Rican. We had some of everything. So I would say that even though season 3 is not the first season, we definitely upped the standard in terms of what College Hill visually should look like to alumni and supporters of HBCUs.
And I want to say this as well before we get started. I just want to say that it's so dope to talk to you because I'm such a media guy that I buy DVDs even to this day, and I listen to the commentary. And you and I think Aya did the commentary. You and Aya did the commentary. I think you got our purpose. You and Aya did the commentary on episode 1 and the last episode. Yes, I'm real here. This ain't no fake interview. I'm really here. Real College Hill fan bought the DVD. Yes.
You know what? I did that commentary not even knowing. Commentary didn't even have a thing. It wasn't even a thing then to do voiceover commentary for like recaps of shows. And the production, Edmonds Entertainment, just thought I was so funny off camera. Because, off camera, I was trying to be put together and polished. But give me a couple cocktails, and off camera, I was clowning. And they were like, you need to commentate this show. And I ended up doing voiceovers for the DVD, which led to me, but a little more tea for you. First thing they said when I got casted on Love and Hip Hop was, "Oh, we do recaps." They remembered my recaps from doing College Hill and when I was over at WeTV. So again, there's a lot of things that Mr. Ray has tapped into here that unknowingly that I don't even know that I'm good at doing. But that's crazy. You saw that. A lot
Yeah.
of people haven't seen that. Like some of my cast members years later were like, what did you say about me?
Oh
Because you
man.
also have that DVD, then that means you got to see the behind the scenes of us in Spring Bling.
Yes, we got Spring Bling. I got when you guys went to 106 in Park too. You know, I got the whole thing. I would show it, but I had to go up to get it, but I would show it.
So you're saying that it's documented. Now y'all know why I didn't graduate May of 2006. I had to come back and take a summer school class and graduate in December of 2006 because BT had us all over and was documenting us not being in class.
Exactly. So we already, before we even get to the real questions, we already get the information. So let's start off with just, you know, your HBCU experience. So what made you choose Virginia State as your HBCU?
You want the real story or you want my PR answer?
I want the real story. I want the real.
The real tea, Virginia State has honestly been in our family for generations, from my stepmother to cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents. So of course, me being the youngest and the rebel of the siblings, I was like, don't want to do it. But I also didn't have out-of-state grades like my sisters did. So my sister went to Elizabeth City, and then she went to A&T, and then I have a stepbrother, and he was at Virginia Tech. And so I was like, okay. And I had another stepbrother who was at Morehouse at the time. So I was like, I'm trying to go to Atlanta. I'm trying to go anywhere where I can be gay Ray. That was my mission. I was like, I know what I am. I know what I like. I can't be that in this little town. Everybody knows my family. So my whole thinking was getting out to find myself so I could be myself. And I didn't feel like I could do that at home. Well, my dad was like, well, you don't got the grades to go to the places you've been talking about, which was Morris Brown, Morgan State, out of state. Because I was like, what do you mean I don't have the grades to go? I got a 2.7, 2.8, but out of state, I didn't realize the cost of out of state and all this stuff. And then getting scholarships. So Virginia State ended up being my dad's decision. And it was a great decision. Shout out to my dad for that. Because I actually thought I couldn't make my mark in Richmond because of all the things that my family and my father had done already. And I was actually able to do just that and contribute to the family legacy. So I'm so glad I went to Virginia State. I'm glad my dad got me to see the bigger picture, not even knowing that this 15, 16, 17 years later would be what that experience would lead me to. So shout out to my dad and Virginia State for that.
Yeah, shout out to him and shout out to VSU for real. So normally when I do these interviews, I ask about your freshman year, your sophomore year. Well, I like to go through the years, but I just want to go on and skip so we can go on and get to it.
I don't remember that far back.
Okay, it's even better.
I remember the highlights.
So okay, that makes it even better. So we gonna get just to right to it. So College Hill already was running. They had, you had the Southern University edition and the Langston University edition. So how did you watch? Oh, you didn't even watch them?
And I'm not even saying that in a shady way. I didn't watch because College Hill season 1 aired it was either my sophomore year. It had to be my sophomore year. And Langston aired my junior year. But you got to remember, back then, 2000, that was in 2003, 2004, 2005. Virginia State did not have cable on campus. And we did not have cable in our dorm. So the only time you got to see BET was when we was in the student center. And usually that was like 106 in Park. And by then we would eat dinner, go back to the dorm, and be hanging out on the yard. Like this is like pre-cell phone phase. Like you really were hanging out on the yard and doing stuff. We didn't have cell phones and social media and cable. We barely had air, but the university's come a long way. So I didn't see, honestly, I knew about it. I heard about it. And I remember when I would go home on weekends, I would see promos and clips of College Hill. And I'd be like, I think back then it was like, it wasn't black and white, but it was like, it looked like Blair Witch Project. Like it was real like home video footage style. Like it wasn't put together like what I was accustomed to seeing when I would watch Real World. And jokingly, I was like, I'm going to audition for Railroad. I want to see what this is like. So College Hill came to Virginia State my senior year in the fall, and they were scouting the campus. Well, I read Jet Magazine. You know, my granny read Jet Magazine. So I knew who Tracy Edmonds and Babyface was from reading about them in Jet Magazine. So I was like, what's Tracy Edmonds' Babyface wife doing in Virginia State? And again, it wasn't even, the internet wasn't even really popping like that. So it wasn't like you see a celebrity and you go Google them right quick. It was just like, I got to go to the library, to the third floor, get on the Wi-Fi, get on the internet. Anyway, she came to a band practice. They had been auditioning for the show for about 2 weeks. And this is like the week before homecoming, because we actually moved in the house the Monday of homecoming week. They were doing auditions, and they came to me. When you see it on the show, them filming me at rehearsal, they were filming me, and I was like, what's going on? And she introduced herself as Tracy Edmonds from BET in college, as the College Hill creator. And I was like, oh, the show, the black version of Real World. And she was like, I would love for you to be on the show. She said, we've been auditioning people, but your name has come up so many times in other people's interviews. We wanted to see who you are. Well, baby, I'm natural. So, you know, I'm giving you all this energy. Just, I know who you are. Girl, I see you in Jet. Okay, cool. So I did one interview, and they asked me like some random questions. And next thing I know, I had a contract. It was 14 of us. It was 2 casts. It was A cast and B cast. But they didn't tell us who the A and B cast was. So this is like the Thursday night before the week of homecoming. So we're like, they were like, we're going to come to your class and we're going to pick you up. You know, basically you're going to be announced in class if you're one of the 8 housemates that move in together. So I'm just like, okay, most of us here are seniors. Most of us here is mass comm. So we all got classes together. So I'm like, this could be real easy. Homecoming week comes. It's Monday goes by. Tuesday goes by. Wednesday goes by. Thursday, no one's been picked up. We're trying to figure out where the College Hill house is, because at this point, we know what's happening. So they started doing everybody one by one. Of course, I was last. I was the last person. There were 4 people that were finalists in my final class. So I'm like, so I see the camera crew coming. I see the Mr. and Miss VSU coming in the room. So I'm like, it's me. It's this guy named Brandon. It was like these 2 other people that auditioned. So I'm like, I don't want to jump up. And I think, but I felt like it was me. I was like, I don't want to jump up. And she was like, you have a ring? Oh my God, you know me, I'm an Aries. I'm very petty. I looked over at the people that didn't get selected that was also a finalist. I was like, ah. But anyway, and that's how my College Hill journey started.
Wow. So many questions even off of that. So you had to wait. They were like, hey, Ray Cunningham, that's the guy. And they came to you. You didn't even audition. That's a
well,
wave.
I mean, my name preceded me at Virginia State. I was popular before College Hill came. I think that's how I got on College Hill, because my name was in that many people's mouths. You know, I was openly gay on campus. I was involved in every organization but a Greek fraternity. And I was the mascot as well. So, you know, and I was fun. I was hanging with the guy. I was hanging not only just with the gay kids, I was hanging with the straight boys. I was hanging with the girls in the sorority. I was chilling with the cheerleaders, with the dance team. Like, I was everywhere. Like, I was a good time in college. I'm still an even better time out of college. And, you know, I didn't think no one thought it was a long shot for me to be a part of that cast. And once I saw the finalists, I kind of picked the cast out in my mind. So, because we all knew each other prior to filming. Only people we did not know was Bianca and Will. And I actually met Will because I was the mascot. He was a freshman football player. And I met Bianca randomly at a football game. Again, I'm the mascot. I meet everybody. So I really knew the whole, and Audrina was a band manager. People didn't even know that. Audrina used to be a band manager. So I literally knew the whole cast.
Like just everything is coming together full circle. You have no idea how much I watched that DVD. I think that even
I was the nucleus of the cast. I knew Rodney. We're both from Richmond. Deidre and I had been friends since freshman year. We joined a couple organizations together, and she was the woo-woo cheerleader, and I was the mascot, so there was that. Anya and I at the time were very close. We had been in the band together for about 3-4 years. She was a dance girl. She was a majorette first, then she was a dancer. I was the mascot. I traveled with the auxiliary. Orlando was my brother and my modeling brother. We were in an organization called Corojo together. And again, I already knew Audrina from the marching band. She was the manager. And like I said, I literally organically knew the entire cast.
Wow. So,
and I did meet the gentleman they were going to put in my place. There was someone they selected to be the gay cast member. He was brand new to Virginia State. He literally he didn't know anyone. And honestly, I don't think he would have been a good representation for our university because nobody knew him.
Wow. So they had someone in place to replace you?
Yeah, he came once they announced us and we started filming, he would like follow me around campus and like walk up on me and be like, you know, they picked me first. Well, guess what, girl? Guess who got the contract right now?
Hey, listen, it's all about how you finish, man. It's the ending, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, who got the bag? Who got the bag?
You might have looked good on paper. You might have even sounded good on camera. But obviously, the power of association and the power of people being able to speak about you, and then from whatever Tracy Edmonds saw in me when she first met me, clearly they had been casting already. I was even a part of the original casting, so again, they found the better option, and I don't think the Tracy Edmonds nor BET regrets it.
Oh, they don't at all. I don't think anyone regrets it at all. Like I said, like you.
I don't regret anything about that show or my cast members. I love the 8 of us. If it wasn't the 8 of us, it wouldn't have been as special as it was.
I totally agree. I think it's a big thing about chemistry too, because I think the whole entire cast, like you said, had a synergy and a chemistry amongst each other, and that's what made it endearing. So I want
to. We did. Rodney was our hype man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I already see that. I saw that from everything. Well, I saw that from the jump. Like he was the guy. He was like, "Let's talk."
Right.
So I already know. So how was it filming the show? Because one thing that you see now in reality TV, it seems very. You've seen both sides. It seems very produced. Versus with College Hill, it seemed almost like, to me, I always called it a docuseries because it just seemed real from just the interactions to the confrontations, even just to just what you guys did. So how was it filmed?
It's interesting to describe that because I've been on 2 different series and 2 different eras of television, both very significant in their own right. With College Hill, that was very much docu-series. It literally was cameras on the wall in every room of every corner. And it was physical camera crews that were assigned to us, and they literally just followed us. So if we wanted to go to the mall to get a pedicure, they came with us to the mall. We wanted to go eat crab legs at the Chinese food buffet. They went with us to eat crab legs. We had my family lived in Richmond, which is about 40 minutes from Petersburg. So when I wanted to go home to see my dad and my sisters or my nieces at the time, because I didn't have any nephews back then, I got 9 total now. But when I wanted to go home, they followed me up the road to Richmond and they would come home. Like they literally followed us. There was very little structure there. There were rules in place. No fighting. You get kicked off the show and kicked out of school because this is College Hill, Virginia State. We were still required to go to classes. We were still required to abide by university rules within the house that was off campus. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm glad those rules were in place because that's what set us apart from a lot of the other seasons. We were like, even for dinner scenes, there were certain arguments, certain things would escalate in the house. Of course, they'd be like, "Hey, we're going to let you 2 go to a restaurant of your choice. I'll pick it out and talk about this." That's not structured really to me. That's just saying, okay, y'all want us to talk about this outside the house to create more content. So, that was that. Versus when I got to other shows, it was more of a controlled environment. It was you're on this day at this time, this is your attire. These are your attire requirements. And we really didn't know what locations we were going to be shooting in, or who we was talking to, or who was popping in, versus it was these 8, and it was no guests, it was no friends, it was just us 8, literally. And so I was definitely in for a culture shock when I got to Love and Hip Hop. But I made it through. I did 3 seasons. I actually was supposed to do a 4th one, but COVID hit and we didn't ever get to do season 7. But Yeah, College Hill was not produced. I cannot speak for any seasons after season 3 because I was not there for them. And we all share stories, and I'm gonna leave that for the other cast members to share their season stories and how things progressed over the years. But people do have to realize that College Hill was the first Black reality series, and we were on BET. So everything was done totally different before there were rules and regulations in place right now.
Exactly. So I want to ask you this then. So what was the difference when you went over to Love and Hip Hop?
What was Love and Hip Hop? So I would say the difference from College Hill was I already knew going into Love and Hip Hop, you're gonna get popped upside your head, you're gonna slap kicked, you're gonna get drunk. I knew something physical was going to happen because that is where reality TV had shifted to at that point in time. It was all about the physical and the reaction of it versus College Hill. Really tried to stay away from that, though it got there a couple times on different seasons. Love and Hip Hop was an interesting experience compared to my College Hill one. I will say that I was close with my castmates while we filmed, and once the show ended, and when it came time for promotion, everybody does their own thing. I'll say that Love and Hip Hop for me was a job, and I had coworkers. And a few of those coworkers I have, maintained communication with, and some of them have become friends. But for the most part, it was a job, and those were coworkers, and a very few of them are friends.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
I'll leave it at that.
So I want to ask you about the infamous cognac situation, and that often goes viral on social media. So you said something interesting on the College Hill series Instagram. You said that oftentimes what you want to be in the show, not in the show, what you don't want to be in the show is. So I want to hear your side of the cognac situation if you want to talk about it.
First of all, I didn't buy that liquor. Production gave us, let me tell you something. When we moved in the College Hill house, they don't ever show this part of the house, but it was clearly, if you look at the show really tightly, we had a bar in the house, but everyone wasn't over 21. So they couldn't show the actual bar area on camera, and we had to have tape all over the bottles. Well, I told them I'll drink Hennessy. At the time, everybody basically got to put their order in what they wanted. Everybody got their own individual little nip. So why mine has to be shared, I was not understanding, because Orlando let his company, he let his Omega brothers come over and drink up all his liquor. And he ain't had none. So you thought you were going to drink mine. I'm a very, 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 very petty Aries. But he ran through I was sleeping in the bed. Little do y'all know, this is midterms. I've already been drinking Hennessy. So when y'all saw me sleep, I was like literally knocked out. Like I was sleep. Because we had been filming, it's homecoming week, then it was midterm, so I drank, went to sleep. He came in my room and was looking for the bottle. And I thought I heard that, you know how Hennessy makes that sound? I thought I heard it open again, and I was like, I know it ain't Bianca. I know it ain't Anya, because that's who's in my room. It was Orlando. And he kept trying to run in and get the liquor. Like, this went on longer than what y'all saw. Like, I was more annoyed that I was drunk. Excuse me for saying that. I was more annoyed that I was drunk and possibly hung over and being woken up to play this childish game. And, but that was just me being dramatic and being extra, as any Aries is. And I said, well, since you would see, they beeped out all of what I said, because Orlando had just came out Omega, I want to say the semester, like right before we started filming. I was like, well, you a dog, get on the floor and lick it. And that's why I poured it. There was shade with that pour, but they just made it seem like I wanted to be dramatic, pour on the floor and walk away and go to sleep. Yeah, it wasn't anything. There was never any beef between me and Orlando. That's my brother. I just was annoyed that I was tipsy and I was in the bed trying to go to sleep, and he kept waking me up because he still wanted to drink. That's why his voice was raspy like that. He had been drinking all weekend.
Yeah, that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? You see how I look at it and I'm like, hey, the cognac situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's multiple moments in College Hill VSU that just pop out in your mind. But that cognac situation is something I'm like, yo, I got to ask him about that. But
I don't. I didn't at that time. I didn't share liquor. I technically still don't. It's COVID. Still technically, it's COVID right now, so I don't share a lot of things. But I'm more of a tequila or champagne guy these days. I let the Hennessy go to the younger folks now. Takes a little longer to recover from that.
No, that makes 100% sense. Trust me, being from Fort Valley, I know what's up. I already know how it is. All right, Fort Valley State University.
You went to Fort Valley?
Fort Valley State University, yep.
Okay, I've heard of Fort Valley State. Yeah, down in Georgia, right?
Yes, in Georgia, right? And I always say it's like it's adjacent to Atlanta. It's not directly Atlanta, but it's adjacent. And we do our thing. You know what I'm saying? The college want to come down to Fort Valley. I'd be a little bit scared, but also proud. Okay, let's talk about just the impact. So the impact, I want to know about how it was on the yard. So you say you were filming, doing homecoming. People saw the camera crews. They followed you around. It was like a docuseries. So what was it like doing homecoming when you all were filming? Would you have like a wave?
It was annoying as hell to have a camera crew following you around at homecoming, because most of the activities that most people do at homecoming, you don't want. First of all, there wasn't really camera phones like that. We had like the T-Mobile flip phones and Nextel chirp phones. So those pictures were already sketchy as it was. So video, like the idea of video and picture wasn't even out there like that. So nobody was worried about being in a compromising situation or position. But again, this was our senior year. We wanted to drink, we wanted to party, we wanted to have fun. But everybody wasn't comfortable with that. Like, granted, the whole campus knew that we were filming. Like, I would walk up to my friends on the yard and they would literally walk away from us. Like, anybody on the yard would walk away from us like, are you Mike? Is the camera? I mean, they were literally on you like this. Like, you'd be sitting at the table talking to your friends and they're like right here. And it just got to be like an annoying seventh man type thing. Like, they literally were there, a huge camera crew, a microphone boom, the sound guy, the audio guy. Like, it was almost like you were walking around campus reporting the news. That's how much equipment they walked around with recording us. Like, there were times where we would be on campus and we would turn our mics off and we would run and hide. Like, we would say stuff out loud in the mic that we know they would hear and turn it off and go run so we could go somewhere and just be to ourselves for a minute. Because we literally, I lie to y'all not, we were filmed from the time we woke up to the time we came out. The only place they didn't film us was in the bathroom. From the time we came out the bathroom to get dressed, to get in the van to go to class, coming back, we were filmed. Like, there was no break. There was not a day that we had off. There was no like Sundays you're off. Like, we were working. We was filming, and then they would just be filming us doing nothing. You could be sitting there on the bed. I'm trying to think, what were we doing in the house, because we didn't even really have cell phones. What were we doing? I had a CD player. I had a CD Walkman. I was listening to Keisha Cole. That's what Keisha Cole, the way it is. I would put my headphones on and listen to Keisha Cole, and they would just be sitting there in front of my bed, filming me, laying there, listening to music. And so I was just like, either this is going to be really fun or this is going to be really boring. But we eventually got used to it. Once we got a groove for it and we started doing group activities versus it just them following us around individually, that's when it got fun. Like the dinners, the clubs, the activities we had to do, the community service events, the mentoring, that was all fun. So like the stuff we did as a unit was fun. It was just those down times where you just want to be kind of sort of to yourself. Because, I was one of the few that lived off campus and had my own apartment. So we ain't been roommates since freshman year. Because my sophomore year, I was an RA. So I had my own place, my RA, my sophomore year. Then my junior year, I moved off campus, had my own place. My senior year, I gave up my place to do the College Hill show. So rooming with two women, and one of them wore a wig at the time. And that was wigs have progressed over the years. But I just remember it was always a hard comb. And it was always just hair in the sink. I remember Bianca was, whatever her living situation was at the time, she had her whole apartment in this bedroom. Because, we was all in one bedroom. 3 of us was in one bedroom. So, it was, I think that's why I'm single now, and I prefer not to live with anybody. College Hill traumatized me. Y'all saw how dirty they kept that house. Y'all saw me cleaning up, throw up. Y'all saw me cleaning up the sink.
College does that to you. College basically like, I don't know if I want to live with anybody no more. I don't really know. Like, these people ain't really sanitary. Like, I think I've had my moment. So trust me, I totally understand that.
No, we've all had our moments where we just leave things, especially during COVID. I'll get to it next week, maybe next month, whatever. But I just think back, and then for college, for me to be back then living on my own, technically since my junior year of college, and then going into a roommate situation, it was definitely a different experience for me. But one I wouldn't trade. Like, it helped me to adapt to different people and to improvise in certain situations and to overcome certain adversities that may arise, that may, whether it be personality conflict or, team decision skills, stuff like that. So there was a lot of good that came out of college Hill than bad.
It makes sense. So I want to talk about just life during and after College Hill. So, like, because that was before social media. Like, social media existed, but not in this way. So what was it like when the show was on? Like, how was it for you in your life?
Back when College Hill, I'm going to date myself and let y'all know how old I am. I am 39 years old. This face doesn't give it. But MySpace was out. So we had top 8. So if you wanted my top 8, it was some shade. Man, it was not social media then. I remember Facebook actually had just started our senior year, and you could only be on Facebook if you had a .edu email address and you were one of the schools that Facebook allowed to be on there. Because remember, Facebook didn't have all the schools on there at one point. It was just certain schools. So, like, I kind of grew up with the birth of social media, from Black Planet to MySpace to Facebook to Twitter to all the other little things in between, the Instagram, where we are now with TikTok. I will say that College Hill is as nostalgic as it is because we are pre-social media. Right now, I got to do a show that is current social media with Love and Hip Hop. I feel that Love and Hip Hop has the same amount of cultural impact as College Hill did, for different reasons now. I'm not talking about the drama necessarily. I'm talking about the influence and the impact and where it was implemented and how it was integrated and marketed. And we had all of that on social media. We had to do live check-ins and recaps, and we had to post stuff and this, that, and the third. And every week you got to engage with fans, good and bad, whatever the situation was. And I can almost, like, basically, in a way, how do I say this without sounding shady? It's a machine, and you basically just get put in a rotation. So whether you are popping on that show or not, you're going to get shown, you're going to get seen. These tweets are going to go out, these comments are going to fly. Versus back in the day with College Hill, you had to really know how to speak and conduct yourself in the interview and be personable so that people could invite you to events, so that you could promote the show, so that people could book you to do more interviews. Because remember, back then it wasn't a lot of anything. And I say meaning internet. It wasn't like I could just go on the internet and go to Ebony Magazine's website and find out who the editor was and do an interview. These people really wanted to meet us and talk to us, and they were invested in us, and they wanted to make sure we were interning and that we were graduating and what our majors were and what were we going to do once the show ended. And luckily, I was able to get a job, and I did work at BET for a while after the show aired, in the corporate communications department doing PR. Shout out to Vancella. She's still at BET now. Tasha Witten-Griggs. But I love that College Hill was pre-social media because it preserved our legacy. Like, people actually have to go on YouTube and search for clips. People actually have to Google and look for interviews and things that were said. Like, people have been searching to this day, child, for season 1 and 2. And if you find it, let me know.
I've been looking. Yes, I have.
I just feel like because it's not as accessible, it makes it more treasured in the Black community. Like, people, I mean, the fact that it's been 17 years for me, so it's been at least 18, 19 for the first two seasons, almost 20 years of College Hill. Like, people still remember the cognac. People still remember Kenda for not wearing underwear. People remember Peaches knocking John over the fire. Rodney and Deidre arguing. Season 4, the fight with season 4. Season 5. I don't really have a lot of memorable moments from season 5, and that's not being shady. Season 5 actually had an attractive cast, so I just remember. I know what you know what I'm saying. Like, there wasn't one moment. I mean, of course, you had Drew. Okay, Drew. Season 5 for me was Drew. Drew and that mouth between, and then like season 6, you know, they had Milan, who's now on Dubai Housewives. So like, um, I just think every season had a different essence and it had a different vibe and a different feel, and I love that. Unlike other shows, no one came on trying to be like somebody from the previous season.
It makes sense.
That's why we are the way we are, and that's why I feel like we are as celebrated as we are currently. And I can speak for some of the other alumni because we talk regularly. We have a group chat. Everybody's excited about the fanfare and nostalgia that's surrounding College Hill. I mean, you couldn't have made us believe this time last year that College Hill was coming back, child. Like we didn't believe it. You can say it all you want. Tracy Evans could have texted us and we would have been like, yeah, girl, all right. But to see that it's finally back and there are some other things happening coming behind the celebrity edition, it's a good this is the only family reunion I'm interested in doing.
As a mass comm major and a mass comm graduate, I'd want to ask this because you were a mass comm major, you are a mass comm graduate, and you worked in communications, and you still are in the industry. So,
and I'm getting my master's right now in media management at Virginia State online.
Yeah, hey, yeah, making it happen. So, as a mass comm graduate and a mass comm student at that time, how do you believe that College Hill aided you in getting to where you are now? And when I say that, I don't mean just the reality TV show side. I mean just shaping you as a media professional.
College Hill taught myself and the rest of my College Hill family how to hustle for yourself. BT and Tracy Edmonds gave us the platform to be showcased and be a part of this. Um, we all were given the same opportunities. Some people's opportunities went, you know, a little further than others. I will say that if anything, what I got from College Hill then and what I realize more now than ever is that you can live in any city, you can live on any continent, any state. There's going to be an HBCU graduate there somewhere. And over the years, I've met so many different alumni from other schools who recognize me from College Hill. Regardless of all the other stuff I've done, they will always remember me from College Hill. So I will say that we are eternally tapped in with the HBCU community. I'm happy to be one of those faces of an HBCU. I'm happy to be a product of an HBCU. I'm happy to be a product of a show that showcased HBCUs before it was a trend, because you know it's a trend now to be HBCU supportive now. But I would say that College Hill taught me the importance of family and community. Um, this show wouldn't be what it is without the alumni and current HBCU student support. I love to see the Texas Southern students supporting the show because, you know, they was letting College Hill Celebrity Edition have it, honey. I mean, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it very real with you. When we found out that College Hill was officially coming back, what was announced to us, what was told to us, and what was announced were two totally different things. And I think that Deion Sanders' son spoke on that a little bit. We were told, we were basically under the impression that it was coming back and it'd be at Jackson State. Tracy's husband is there. You know, Mr. Deion is there. I'm like, oh, this is a great look. They won the championship. They're getting all this recognition. That's the perfect place for Jackson State to be the reboot for College Hill. And that's my grandmother's alma mater. So I was happy about that. And I had actually had conversations with BET about, I didn't know in what capacity, but I always knew whatever the reboot was, I was going to be a part of it. So that's the T for you. I don't know what happened. Y'all saw those tweets from Deion Sanders' son. He said it was some stuff going on behind the scenes. But if I can just knowing what I know about Southern and Langston and how it was for Virginia State University, and then the drama that happened at UVI, which actually changed their name from UVI to the Virgin Islands season, I can only imagine Jackson State was trying to put some parameters in place so that those situations would not, you know, happen current day. I'm not mad at the Celebrity Edition. I know people were like, why is Nene Leakes? Why is Big Frida? Why is Ray J? They're already got money. They're successful. But once I got there on set, and because, you know, I asked, why y'all here? I was told that College Hill Celebrity Edition was for celebrities who had not been able to attend college or did not get to go to school for financial reasons or career reasons or whatever reason they didn't get to go. They started, didn't finish, didn't get to go at all, or they went to a PWI and always wanted to have a Black college experience. And that I was okay with. And once I relayed that to the rest of the College Hill family, they were like, oh, okay. And, I went down there and I got to meet Dr. Cooley. I got to meet a couple of their other professors. They actually did a group presentation for one of their classes that I participated in. And it was a good time and they seemed to be really learning. But what I loved the most about the cast was they said they wanted to meet the former alumni of the series who had done the show and had lived through this, because they were not expecting to do real schoolwork and really be on campus and having projects to do. And then when you're doing projects, that means everybody has to pull their weight. And we can already see, Stacy Dash is out, Ray J has to leave. So that means other people have to pull the weight and do the assignment now to get your grade. So Dream Doll and Nene were there, and Big Frida was saying we would have loved to met some more of you guys before this had started, so we would know what to expect better. So that was cool that they, even acknowledged us and wanted us to know what it was like to be a college student at that time. Because, like Nene said, she went to Morris Brown and had to leave for other reasons. But that was cool. I thought that was a really cool family moment. Like, you could have let us know what we were getting into. So the cast was totally cool. I can't tell you about that scene. That's gonna be a really funny scene. It's a long scene, but it's a really funny scene. It was surreal for me to be filming. We had our original executive producer Sean Rankin there. A couple of the other guys from the original production were still there, and I filmed College Hill 2006, my senior year, and this is technically 2022. This is my senior year, my final year of grad school. So this has been like a whole 360 moment for me just to be back in that space again, years later, more wiser, getting my second degree. The show is back, it's getting this amazing exposure. I love the cast. Lamar Odom is my favorite. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think Lamar is hilarious. Stacy Dash actually is one of my favorites as well. Just from watching the show, I understand her. I have friends that are introverts like her.
Yeah, I do
She's
too.
an introvert. Yeah. And it's COVID. We've been home for y'all have to remember, these people have been home for about 2 years straight, no work, to go into a setting like this where you're on campus, you're around production, you're in a house. And then we all know the comments that Stacy Dash has made. But Black people, we are a forgiving people. How many times have we forgiven Kanye? So how are we writing off Stacy Dash like that? Because Kanye West made the same comments about Black History Month that Stacy Dash did. So let's not act funny. But I do feel like she could have put a little bit more effort into mingling with the cast. And y'all have to see what happens next with that. I know, but y'all gotta watch.
I wanna really dialogue with you about the Stacy Dash point. So I did a review on the show, and I'm gonna be doing reviews on it. And one thing about Stacy Dash is that I was totally against her being there because I didn't really understand it. But as I watched the show, I was like, they're sort of like really keying in on her, and not really even the production, unless they made it that way. The cast was. Everything, those first 2 episodes was about her. And yeah,
she was the name. She was because you gotta understand, and a lot of the fans were saying, I saw on the College Hill page on Instagram, why is she there? She doesn't like Black people. Regardless of you liking Black people, you liking HBCU do not discriminate against anybody who wants to attend and attempt to get an education. And I believe that to be with the casting of this show. There's all types of different Black people on this college show, in this family. We have gays, we have lesbians, we have bisexual people, we got married couples, we got divorced couples, we have people that have learning disabilities, we have some people that have some private matters that they're dealing with. We all have something going on that makes us unique and makes us different. Stacy Dash just happens to be that she does not fully identify with being African American, and she said, what did she say? I'm Mexican and Black.
She said she's mixed. She's Black and Mexican.
And I agree with Nene Leakes. She's from the Bronx. She should have knew a couple of them answers as well. But Stacy Dash has been in Hollywood since the 80s. she's that token black girl with the pretty hair and the pretty eyes. So she's a little bit. I don't want to say I don't know her personally, so I can't say she's disconnected. I would just say she's misinformed. But I honestly believe from watching this show and seeing her kind of interact with the dance girls and was smiling and having fun and coming on campus and dancing to the marching band, even seeing her smile in the intro when she had the hat on and she's dancing with the band. Like, you could tell that she was trying to give it an effort. But unfortunately, I feel like the things that Stacy Dash has said publicly prior to her joining this show, I questioned as well why she was there. Because that's the first thing I said. Why is she on this show? She do know that College Hill is a black reality series on a black network. Does she know? Does she know that this is not The Bachelor? That this is College Hill? Like, this ain't Big Brother, sis. This is College Hill. We throw shoes around here, okay? Like, it goes down on College Hill, okay? Yeah. I was a little concerned about her being there because I was like, either she's going to come in there and roast everybody or they're going to roast her. And because she's not that confrontational, I do feel like it can appear to be that they were ganging up on her, but they were really making an honest effort to be around her because I feel like they wanted to get cool with her so they could ask her some questions like, so what did you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's better to get to know someone and warm up to them before you dive in and ask these questions because even though we don't know what the state of Stacy Dash is currently on this show, I still got questions for her. I have some legitimate questions, but I also now want to know, because she's promoting the show, as you see on her Instagram page, I want to know what her experience was like dealing with the dance girls and what that was like. Because, she was in the house for at least a week or so. We know she left, so.
We know that for sure. Mm-hmm. And then she was on a gurney. I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? Clearly she's still alive. I mean, like, she's still here. She's promoting the show.
I mean, anytime you call 911 and they take you in for evaluation, they have to put you on a gurney. I mean, that's nothing. They're not going to walk around and tell her to sit down. I mean, that's what you have to do. That's what we pay for insurance for, so that we can be wheeled out.
Like, but they had to shit over like she had died. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what did y'all do?
Stacy Dash is dramatic. I'm here for her dramatics. I think it's hilarious.
It sort of was.
She's a ballerina. Did you see that part? But she said, I didn't do hip hop growing up. I'm a ballerina.
Yeah, and I saw her put an age crowd with Brianna, the dance captain. She was like, "I'm fun. You're 8. You're like, you're over here. I'm up here." I'm like,
that's an issue that needs to be discussed at HBCUs. The old heads disrespect the new heads, or the new heads disrespect the old heads. We know how homecoming getting them old heads come back, and you're like, girl.
Yeah.
And for Stacy Dash, I get it. At the end of the day, girl, you can feel how you want to feel about me. I'm still Stacy Dash from Clueless. What else was she in?
Oh, she was in the game. She was in the game.
Oh, she was on Single Ladies.
Single Ladies and the game.
Yeah, like, bitch, my cousin is still Dame Dash, girl. Don't get it twisted. Like, she's from the Bronx.
Was Brianna
so her voice changed?
Was Brianna
her voice changed?
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't think Brianna was really being disrespectful.
Stacy Dash's voice changed. She said, "You ain't gonna be talking to me like that." Like, she got real black for a second. Like,
that came out. Oh no, the Bronx came out for sure. Like New York accent came out for sure. But I just didn't feel like Brianna was being disrespectful. Like, she was just saying, like, why didn't you learn the choreography?
You didn't hear all that back and forth. Shout out to Brianna, by the way. I wanted to say hi to her. She looks like she's interesting, but she was like, no, respecting what did she say? Respecting me would have been coming here and knowing it.
Yeah, she said that, yeah.
Girl, I'm filming a show. I'm living with people that I don't necessarily let's just keep it very real. Stacy Dash has probably not been out the house since COVID started. 2, she probably ain't been around that many black people since who knows how long. 3, she's around Nene Leakes, Ray J, and Big Frida. Very opinionated people who probably all know what she has said. Like, I don't even know if Stacy Dash knew who the cast was when she walked in. Like how Nene didn't know Slim Thug. I'm wondering, outside of possibly Nene, who else would Stacy Dash know on that cast? I'm pretty sure she would know of Lamar Odom. Nene, I'm assuming just she watches reality TV. I don't feel like she knew Dream Doll in India. just because of the age gap. I don't feel like she knew them. And it's no shade to those girls. I love those girls. Slim Thug, I'm pretty sure she didn't know who he was.
That hurt me, man. I'm like, he's a
I
legend.
love Slim. No, he's a legend. If you're a Beyonce fan, you know, check on it.
Right. And then still tipping down south. Like
we really was like, who are you? I was like,
that hurt my soul. I'm like, oh man. Oh. I'm like,
and
no.
I'm sure she knew who Ray J was. Like, if you don't know who Ray J is,
one wish.
But she just, oh my God, don't do my bro like that. Ray J is the hardest working man I know in reality TV.
He is.
But Stacy, I mean, even the conversation they were having, y'all know this lady already ain't at the cookout like that. Them ain't the icebreaking questions you want to ask her. Like, I'd have been sitting there clutching my pearls too. Like, bitch, I don't know y'all. Y'all asking me about how many people I've had sex with.
Exactly.
And then I just told y'all I don't drink and do drugs no more. And y'all sitting here just pouring it up.
Thank you.
Y'all playing.
That was what I was saying. It's like I was like, y'all are asking the 18-year-old freshman questions to a 54-year-old woman, regardless of politics. I probably would have been like, yeah, I ain't really trying to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really good, man.
It was definitely a culture shock for her. And I think her in India, and I'll even say Slim, I feel like they would get the most out of this experience just from watching their commentary on the show. And, you know, with India's anxiety about, you know, learning and being in a learning environment and retaining the information and whatnot and applying it to the assignments. And then Stacy Dash just being in a crash course of blackness. Lamar, even with him talking about ODing and, you know, this is exercise for his brain. And then, you know, Slim being a local celeb. I mean, he's a national celeb, but him being from Houston and then being on the show. And then, like I said, he said, you know, I think he joins SGA. I think he joins the SGA on the show. So, like, I just love that these celebrities really came in and took the show serious, respected the school, and, you know, got to interact with the students. And I'm sure created some awesome memories that these kids will never forget.
Yeah, and I'm just super excited to see what comes. I'm definitely excited to see your episode. But I have to ask you this, because you did say this, all right? So is there more College Hill coming? Is there more? Is there regular students coming? I wouldn't be HBCU Pulse and a representative of the HBCU community if I didn't ask. Is there more coming?
I'm going to quote what you all have already posted.
Okay.
Deion Sanders Jr. did let the cat out the bag that College Hill was originally coming back with regular students at Jackson State. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way. So that there was initial conversation for that. And I'm pretty sure that since they put out the ratings now, I think College Hill had like close to 1 million views for its first episode. So that was a big determining factor right there. Yes. That there's definitely the demand is still there. I would say you may see the alumni back before you see a new student, but, you know, it's progression. It's a series. So, you know, College Hill series is now a franchise. So you have the regular College Hill, which would be new students at universities or cities. Then you have the interns. Remember, they were a spinoff. You got the Celebrity Edition, which is a spinoff. And if there is some type of alumni homecoming, that is another series as well. So okay. I'm just happy to see the series is back. The franchise is back and growing and expanding. I'm really glad these numbers were good, because the way y'all was reading this show online and they was dragging it, I'm not watching it, child. I think everybody tweeted they ain't watching it. Watched it because...
Yeah, clearly. Clearly. And then especially after BET lead-in, clearly. You had nothing else to do. What else is on?
I think people were surprised to see the cast actually like living in the house. Then they were actually on campus. I mean, one of the teachers roasted Dreamed all the first episode. You can't wear that in my class.
Yeah.
And then the whole Stacy Dash thing with Stacy Dash in African American Studies. That is priceless TV. I'm sorry, it's priceless TV. And then her not knowing the black people quotes.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets no blacker than that on College Hill. And then her learning the dance routine. I think Big Frida's joining the choir. I mean, everything that you didn't get on previous seasons of College Hill because, once the show switched from being on campus at the university to living off campus in a house and just doing more events at the house and off campus, you didn't get that student life aspect anymore too much. Because, in Atlanta, it was about them being at the house and doing events and taking trips. South Beach, I think they were from schools all over South Florida. So it was more so their interaction in the house and the social experiments that went on versus now you get to see these celebrities actually on campus dealing with students and teachers. We're getting to see, this is awesome advertisement for any HBCU. And I would say, I tell the HBCUs, reach out to BET, Tracy Edmonds, express your interest because this is free promo. You can't buy this promo anywhere. Everybody knows Texas Southern today. So
yeah, and I want to ask you this, and I want to preface by saying this is that a lot of HBCUs, like you said, they're scared about their image and how the show, with either tarnished image, but if you do research, you see that UVI saw an increase in enrollment, and if you track it back, you saw that you had a different world. It was an increase in enrollment. But College Hill also brought about an increase in HBCU enrollment in the 2000s. So I think its benefits and the schools have to weigh that. And also you have the older generation that just ain't going to get with it that are in administration. So I think younger administrations might. But I want to ask you this. Do you see, and I know you probably have inside intel, but do you see it being at an HBCU again? Do you see that happening?
For sure. That's the whole purpose of College Hill. College Hill is to showcase the diversity amongst the students that attend historically Black colleges. And as the show, expanded and got more popular, that umbrella opened up to just Black college students that went to college, But the focus is always about HBCUs, especially now more than ever. When we have so many scholarships available, we have these people like Deion Sanders reaching back into the community and coaching these boys to championships, and some of them even getting drafted and going professional now. We've always been the backbone of America. HBCUs is the heartbeat of America. I feel like we're the backbone of America. We are the blueprint to corporate America. For every HBCU, I strongly believe there's a millionaire. There's only 107 HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like we are so underrated and we are so undervalued. And I'm glad that now we are mainstream media. We are a bullet point on the agenda. I don't like the agenda, but we're a bullet point on it now. And I thank people like Tracy Edmonds for creating College Hill. I appreciate people like Beyonce who grew up in Houston around the culture and appreciated it and, modeled, not modeled, but, she themed her Coachella performance after an HBCU. Nick Cannon with what he's been doing, Drumline, just all the things that people have been doing. Will Packard with Girls Trip with the Florida A&M shout outs. I just All-American on CW Homecoming Edition. Like, I just appreciate everybody who's tried to contribute to HBCU culture, HBCU existence, and preserving what our grandparents and great-grandparents and the many Black greats that came before us did, because people don't realize that, going to a PWI was not an option not that long ago. It wasn't an option for my grandparents. And, they're 90s now. So, this is just a good time. I just hope that everybody accepts the evolution of the revolution that includes different types of formats of television and entertainment that showcase HBCUs. And as long as I'm alive and breathing, I'm going to always promote HBCUs and try my best to be a representation of HBCU alumni, which is why I'll give you the exclusive.
Let's talk about it.
This is an HBCU themed Monopoly game. It's called Yardopoly. It is here. It will be available in the coming weeks. As you see, it is very inspired by College Hill as well. There are 8 players, 4 boys and 4 girls. We have the mascot, the sorority sister, the drum major, the university queen, the jock, the university cheerleader, the fraternity brother, and the band dancer. It will be available through Game Crafter. I'm gonna show y'all the board too.
Show us. You got to be a billionaire with that. Like, that's dope.
It was an idea that I had back in 2017, and I just never got around to fully developing it. And then once I got into like, and then of course, with me filming and traveling and all that I had going on, I didn't really have time to commit to it like I wanted. But
Wow.
it's a full board game, guys. Because during COVID, I couldn't find nothing on Amazon to order that was HBCU game, a board game. There's
Exactly.
plenty of card games, but there was not a board game. So
Wow.
you get the money, you get the property cards. There's over 80, there's over 100 trivia questions, as well as campus mail. You can buy a shout out to Virginia State with the orange and blue, but instead of houses, you get dorms. Instead of hotels, you get academic buildings. I have the players all on these little stand-up chips. And of course, we have our instruction book. And shout out to all of the HBCUs, because I have every HBCU name printed in here. Because legally, I can't print y'all names on the box.
Yeah, a lot of licensing. Yeah, we know how licensing can be.
Oh my God, that's what took the most time with doing this game, and it was so frustrating at one point because I was like, I just want to promote the schools. A portion of the proceeds will go to a scholarship of my choice. I don't know if I want to start one my own and give it that way, or do I want to go through like the United Negro College Fund or Tom Joyner or something like that. But a lot of HBCUs don't own their logos, and
Yep.
trademarking purposes, you got to go through a larger corporation. And I just want to do something that promotes our universities and promotes our colleges and our tradition and some fun pop culture. And so I did it the best way. Like it took like 2 years of redevelopment to get this the right way, to make sure that I was not infringing on anything. Can't nobody call me up and say that you took this. I ain't remixing nobody's nothing. Everything is original down to the characters. You hear me?
Right. Billionaire energy, though. I love the billionaire energy. I'm telling you, like, because like, that's something that's not there right now. You know what I'm saying? Yardopoly. That's billionaire energy.
I mean, it was honestly during COVID, that was my first time ever, like, it was no homecoming. Remember, it was no homecoming that first year of COVID. And it was like a shock to a lot of people. Like, how did this cancel? What? Yeah. Like, it was nothing going on. And outside of ordering t-shirts and hats, it wasn't anything like this to play. It wasn't anything like this to use to be in classrooms or in rec centers to encourage the youth who were basically went to finish their high school years up online, digitally, and they couldn't visit these universities. So why not have materials like that available that, give them a little bit of a blueprint of what it's like to, attend a HBCU and what that Black college experience is like. Because, you can do so many virtual panels, you can watch the virtual videos, but I feel like I'm a hands-on learner. And so something like that, when I was in high school, I think would have gotten me more hyped to do my work so that when it was time to graduate and I wanted to go out of state, I could have. So this is for the community. It's not for me. This is my legacy project, but this is something that I wanted to have available for other students that want to go to HBCUs, for supporters, alumni, current students, high school students thinking about coming, or folks that just they want to be culture vultures and have a little bit of culture in their house.
I love it. Hey, the culture vulture word. I love the culture vulture word, honestly. But I think that that's key. And you giving us a lot of time, giving us a lot of information. We've talked about it all. So I want to end it like this. Where can we find you on social media? What do you have coming up? And also, how can we buy Yardopoly?
Okay. You can find me on social media. I'm verified across the board, child. Mr. Ray, MISSTERRAY 804. Instagram. Everything else is just Mr. Ray. Yardopoly will be available within a week. Actually, I'm just waiting on one last little thing to be updated on the Game Crafters website. I will be posting it. I'm actually going to be hosting the College Hill Celebrity Edition after show. We will be starting next Thursday. I will have cast members from the current cast coming to discuss episodes and things. And I believe I'm going to try to make it available for next Thursday. So it will definitely be available before the finale. And what else is coming up outside of College Hill for me? I'll be graduating this December with my master's in media management from Virginia State. So I'm an official two-time Trojan. And at the top of the year, I will have another television project that will be announced. that we will start filming in the fall. So I'm super excited. Life is good. God is good. Got my hair back, lost this weight, just thriving and, just trying to drive to the top.
Yeah, we love just positivity and progression. And I really appreciate you for all you're doing for HBCUs.
Wait a minute. I got this one hair friend right here. You didn't tell me this whole interview he been sitting up this whole time.
I didn't notice it.
Look at it.
I did not know. We talking about so much game.
It's okay. It's natural. It's all right. I'm at home today, y'all. I'm recovering from BET Awards and 4 nonstop days of promo for College Hill. I just want to say I thank you guys. And this is me being very real with you guys. Thank y'all for supporting me. I don't say the word fan. I hate that word. I say supporters or family or friend. Hey, friend. Thank you for supporting me since 2006. There's been a lot of times my family was like, get this up. What is happening? What are you doing? What is the big payoff for this? What is the goal? And meeting people and them telling me they went to college because of College Hill. Meeting people after I did Love and Hip Hop when I lost my hair with alopecia, and I met other people who had it, and they were telling me about other ways I could do to grow my hair back, things I could do to get treatments for. Everything in my life I've done, I've had support on both sides, good and bad, whether of the situation, whether I was wrong or right, y'all. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all for buying my book that came out last year, Mess with a Message. It was on Amazon. You all made me a best-selling author. It made it #1. I won an award because of that. Nothing I've done in my career I've done on my own, or because it's not just all been because of me. So I definitely got to thank God. I got to thank my family, my Virginia State family, my social media family, because some of y'all been following me since College Hill, the first go-round. From y'all to follow me from Facebook to Twitter on over to Instagram, and now we at TikTok, and I got nephews on TikTok now, okay? So I just say I do not take any of that for granted. I appreciate it. I love my little bubble that I keep myself in. And thank you, HBCU Pulse, for having this platform for HBCUs. I read your website. I love the news updates. I love that you are so engaged. I love that you were one of the first people to support College Hill coming back. I mean, again, it was a shock to a lot of us. We didn't understand the celebrity edition again, and we didn't understand the celebrity edition. But now watching it and being a part of it, I was glad I was able to come back. So thank you, Tracy Edmonds, and thank you to the cast for embracing me and giving me the love that you gave. And y'all keep watching. Y'all might get an alumni homecoming very soon.
And I want to say once again, I thank you for coming on. We'll definitely support you, and we're supporting Yardopoly for sure. Give us the thing. We're supporting Yardopoly.
Yardopoly will be available, you guys, on the Game Crafter.
We love to see it, and it's gonna be coming out soon. We're gonna make sure to tap in with that. But thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Ray, and you're listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.